I bet if you've been in a real estate transaction, you found it to be just a little adversarial for the most part. I would say over the last 10 years, maybe half become adversarial transactions when real estate is not supposed to be like that. It's not supposed to be adversarial. Real estate is supposed to be two people agreeing on something great for both parties. One party is going to buy a property, the other party is going to sell a property. That should be a win-win. And to be honest, the best real estate agents are looking for that win-win. It's why good agents win for their buyers when they're not the highest offer, because they're looking for a professional transaction. And professional transactions make everybody in the transaction feel good. Both buyer and seller are happy. They're happy with each other's requests. They're all good. The house gets turned over nicer. So how do things go, off the rails in a real estate transaction? Let's be real honest about it. It's always about ego. It's also about money, but ego plays actually a bigger role. So just take home inspection, for example. Sellers often get bent out of shape because buyers are making requests. And I can tell you, there are some buyers who make great requests because their agents tell them what's appropriate. And then there's other agents who completely check out and attorneys who just send over an entire inspection report, which of course makes the seller mad because it's ridiculous. You can't get everything. If you're buying a 1920s house, everything's not going to be perfect. You get what you get. You can obviously make requests for major items, but in hot markets, you don't have a lot of leeway as a buyer to make ridiculous requests. You have to be careful when they have 10 backups. So ego is usually the thing. Buyers want to get what they want to get. Sellers want to get what they want to get. And often that clash creates this adversarial atmosphere in a transaction, which makes all of us who are participants in the transaction hate it. Lender hates it. I hate it as an agent. Attorney hates it if you're in an attorney state. The buyer and seller hate it. And then when you get the keys, when you bought a property, you don't even feel happy. Or when you get your bag of money as a seller, you should feel happy. There's nothing worse than closing a deal and having to listen to people still complaining about something that cost $500 when they just made 500,000, or they just made the biggest purchase of their life and they're still bent out of shape because one doorknob isn't turning correctly. That doesn't cost a lot to get fixed. You have to get out of your own head in a real estate transaction. And the best way to win as a buyer is to be looking for a win-win. And the best way to get your best transaction, maybe not your most money, but probably the easiest money at the best scale, is to look for a win-win buyer. So how do you locate a win-win buyer, win-win seller? It's all about the process, and it involves the agents as well. You want to look for a transaction that's not going to be a pain. So real estate is not supposed to be adversarial. In case you don't know, I was a trial attorney for 10 years. I was a prosecutor for 7 years, criminal defense attorney for 3 years. All I did was trial. I've done over 250 jury trials to verdict. Real estate is not that. Nobody's going to prison. Nobody's going to jail. There are no victims. Sure, things happen in real estate transactions. People lie. These things all happen. There's properties that are hiding stuff. This is just part of the business. But what you want to do is you want to be, if you're the real estate agent, you want to be an advocate for your client, but you don't want to be crazy, because some real estate agents actually tank the deal because of their own ego. They're trying to win so much and they don't realize that their buyer or seller doesn't want them to go that hard because they want the house. I've done it. And I didn't feel bad about it at the time, but after I knew that I went over the line, I was trying to help them, but I wasn't saying like, hey, do you want me to go to this step to help you? Because they didn't want me to. I still think I should have, but anyway, the deal failed either way. But look, real estate, again, it's not supposed to be adversarial. You don't have to fight in a real estate transaction. And over the course of your life, your best real estate transactions and your best feelings about a house, whether you're leaving or coming in at closing, is going to be when it's been a smooth transaction and a win-win on both sides. So as you go in, if you're a buyer, seller, investor, real estate agent, real estate investor who've come to my channel to looking for real estate content, this is a reminder to you. Look for the win-win in all real estate transaction. Look for agents, participants, investors, buyers, sellers, agents, attorneys, lenders who all want to work together while still respecting the fiduciary duty of all sides, but all want to work together for a win-win and a smooth transaction. And I'll tell you right now, a smooth transaction that closes in 30 days and makes you $5,000 less will be way more worth it in the long run than one that takes you 90 days. It goes back and forth whether the deal is going to fail and you make $5,000 more in the end. It's never going to be worth it. Have a great day.